This video is part 2 in a new 30-day freelance copywriting challenge I'm hosting where I'm comparing 2 of the most popular ways that people get clients. 1, cold email, and 2, Upwork.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
In the first video, which was part 1, you saw what it was like my first 10 days on Upwork, what it was like to set up the account, sending my first couple proposals, and ultimately how much money I made in the first 10 days. Now, in this video, which is part 2, you will see what was going on during that same 10-day time frame with cold emailing. Now, hopefully you guys liked that video and like this one too. If you did, be sure to actually drop us a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future updates. I'm actually filming all of this ahead of time, so I have no idea how you guys responded, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this journey and hopefully you guys love seeing, what it's like to start over from scratch and actually go out there and build your copywriting business on these different platforms. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and dive right into day 1 of what it was like to build my business with cold email. So first things first, before we start sending a bunch of cold emails to people, it's time to put together a list of the different companies that I want to reach out to. Now, a really cool tool that I like to use for this is a site called myip.ms. And what this site does is it actually aggregates all the sites that are hosted on Shopify, and it actually sorts them by traffic for you. So at the very top there, and you'll see some brands that you know and recognize, sites like Fashion Nova, ColourPop, Gymshark, sites that we all know and love. But in reality, those brands are probably so huge that they would not be really receptive to working with a one-off freelancer with no track record. So for me, I'm not going to spend a ton of time looking at the companies at the top of these rankings, but we don't want to go to the very end either because those sites are probably so small that they couldn't even afford our services. What we want to do is go somewhere in the middle there.
Oh, that's too hot. That's too cold. And that's just right.
And really, that's when we start to see sites that are still rather successful. They have, thousands and tens of thousands of people coming to them every month, but they're not so big that they are not really going to be working with solo freelancers. So this is a good way to kind of cheat and know, hey, these sites are listed on Shopify. Now it's just a matter of kind of clicking through them and seeing which brands really stand out to you and look interesting as a company you'd like to help. So I'm going to spend a little while just kind of sifting through this and kind of build my little prospecting sheet. Okay, so it's day 2 and it's finally time to start reaching out to some of those companies we identified yesterday. And you guys know what that means. Time to start copy and pasting the same message over and over again to every single person we can find.
More spam!
More spam!
Of course, that's not actually true. The real secret to getting cold emails to actually convert and to actually work is to personalize them and to do it in a way that's really fun for the person to read. So one of the things I made sure to do when I was putting together the list of sites yesterday is to take down some notes on the different marketing managers within these companies. Now, will this take longer? Yes. But will this actually lead to a message that gets a response? Also probably yes, because the last thing you want is something that seems like it was batch and blasted to 1,000 people. So what I'm going to do is spend the better part of the morning kind of workshopping some cold emails that's going to be talking about services that I offer through Klaviyo, super personalized to the people that I'm going to be sending them to.
2 hours later.
Okay, so I made it through about 10 cold emails, which is about a third of our prospecting list. And I feel really good about that because, we may add to that list over time, but we'll also have a good batch of leads that we can reach out to fresh tomorrow morning. Okay, so it's day 3, and we did actually wake up to 1 reply to our messages yesterday. Nice try, remove me from your list. Some people just don't like to get cold emails in their inbox, so this is part of the process. And I actually was able to respond in a kind of a funny way. And she was like, oh, well, I didn't actually know that this was not an automated message. So other than that, the big focus of today is actually just getting through as many more cold emails as I can. Yesterday I spent a couple hours to get through about 10. And today I'm going to spend the better part of the next couple hours seeing how many I can get through. Okay, so it's day 4 and I have good news to share. We got our second reply to a message, and this time it's actually positive. He said, Robert, I don't typically respond to messages like this, but you certainly caught my attention. I'd be open to hear more about the email services you offer. Can we chat next week? So I sent him over my calendar link and we'll see what kind of day he books it up. I'm going to send a couple more cold emails today and try to make it through the rest of our list. But so far, so good. Okay, so it's day 7 and I'm both super excited and super nervous today because we've actually got our first call on the books for later this afternoon. I've spent the better part of the morning just going over the site again and again, just trying to find different areas that I might be able to help the brand and just getting super familiar with the site and all the different products that they offer. And I'm making a giant list of potential questions to ask him because in this case, I'm super nervous that he's going to, ask for a case study or ask for some examples. And in this case, I can't lean on any of those things, which is super frustrating. But on these calls, I want to simulate the experience of a total beginner. So I'm just trying to prepare as much as I can and just go in and just be ready to ask really penetrating questions. We'll hopefully prove that I know my stuff, but we'll kind of see. I am really nervous about this though. So we'll kind of see how it goes. The call is actually scheduled for later this afternoon around 2 p.m.
Hello, John. How you doing today? You mailed in my company a postcard a few weeks back requesting information on penny stocks that had huge upside potential with very little downside risk. Does that ring a bell?
Okay, so the call went amazingly well. He's a super fun guy, and I'm really excited to potentially work with this brand. I just kept asking question after question after question. And in asking good questions like that, we found about 10 different email series and flows that they could potentially turn on. So what I told him to do was actually add me to their Klaviyo account and make me an analyst so that I could go in and actually confirm everything that we discussed on the call today. And I told him that if everything checked out, I would actually send a proposal right over. And I got a green light from him saying, yes, please do that. And so that's what I'm kind of waiting on now is just to be added to the Klaviyo account and kind of pop in there, kind of confirm everything we discussed. And then we will hopefully have our first proposal out. Okay, so it's day 8 and they added me to the Klaviyo account and I confirmed every single thing we discussed on the call and actually identified a couple more areas that we might be able to jump in, send a couple emails, build a couple more custom flows, and get this thing running like a machine. And so one of the things I did when I was doing this audit on the account is write down all the different emails that I would recommend sending out, all the different flows that I'd recommend building, and that formed the bones of what's going to be my proposal. So what I did was I sketched all that out in an email along with the timeline and the price. And I'm really excited about it. And I feel like this is not only going to be a good potential first project for us, but I know that once we get all these different flows turned on, this client is going to see a tremendous ROI from this. So hopefully they say yes. I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, we're waiting.
Just checking back in with you guys to say, we got it. They said yes. I'm super excited about this. Honestly, the speed at which he said yes is telling me I probably could have asked for more and they probably still would have said yes, but I don't even care because out of the gate, this is a great first project. And I actually think this is a client who, if I do this right and I service them in the right way and I get all the flows turned on, this could turn into repeat business just like that. Because I know that probably with just 1 or 2 of the flows we're going to build, they'll probably make back their investment in 30 days. And we're building like 10 of them. So I'm so excited about this. This feels amazingly good. I haven't sent cold emails in a long time because a lot of the work that I get through my agency is mostly referral based, but it still feels so good to get those sweet cold email deals. Okay, so checking back in with you guys on day 10 here. No big updates to share other than that the invoice was paid in full for the deal that we signed. And other than that, we've finished sending all those initial cold emails, and I've begun following up with some of those contacts because we've had about a week past since we started sending those outreach messages, and that's a really good time to start following up. So what I'll probably do is actually start to build out that prospect list a little bit more, because I'm not going to follow up with people, 5-6 times over the course of 30 days. But just recapping the numbers up to this point, so far we have sent 32 cold outreach messages. We have gotten 2 replies, 1 positive, 1 negative. We booked 1 call, and we closed that prospect for a $5,500 build. And I'm really excited to see what we can do in the final 20 days of the challenge. I'm going to be pushing down super hard on the gas to see, how far we can take this. Cold email has gotten off to a strong start, but if you guys saw that first update, Upwork was starting to build momentum as well. And I'm really excited to see how things shake out. So let me know your biggest takeaway, and I will see you guys in the next update video.